wondering if I could really be a good sergeant to these guys out in the field. And I'm introduced to my new squad, and the very first thing they tell me is they introduced me to one of my men, Gibson. He was a big old guy. He had a fist that was probably as big as both my fists together. And they started telling me that a couple of weeks before they'd been out on patrol, and they were away from the APCs and they were out overnight. And said Gibson looked up and there was a tiger right in his face, and he took his fist and he hit the tiger right in the jaw. He said the tiger turned around and left.
Thank you, Gibson. Thank you.
And I'm thinking, here I am, a brand new sergeant in country, and as if I didn't have anything to worry about. You're telling me about people, that I got to worry about tigers, in Vietnam.
Okay, with that in mind, let's roll to the next friend with the tiger.
Yeah. Well, that very night, even though they knew that the tiger was in the area, a tiger did come back and actually take one of the guys away. And so this is something I'm learning my first night. Like I'm trying to make sure I can deal with the enemy. And now I'm learning we may have tigers to deal with as well.
What do you mean took him away?
Huh? Well,
what do you mean took him away?
But he just the tiger came in and killed this guy.
But where was he? On you had a perimeter or something, or?
Yeah, it was just a platoon, that they were in a little circle.
Right.
Out in the field.
And nobody heard this?
And this was before I arrived, a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he'd come in and grabbed one of the guys and actually killed him. So my very first night there, I'm hearing about a guy getting killed by a tiger, and then my guy punched the tiger, that survived.
So who were you fighting?
What's that?
Who were you fighting? The tigers or the Prom,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I began to wonder, it's like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through a year of this.
I got something for you. At LZ Sally, we had these little bunkers. Our own personal bunkers. It's like building a coffin. It had sandbags on three sides, and they had some of these fence posts across the top with little Q decking, and you put sandbags on the top. So you had like a casket with the end open, and you would crawl in feet first and go to sleep. Or head first if you want, I guess, to be the smarter way, because any shrapnel could hit your head at the end. This guy woke up with a snake on his chest, and he had a heart attack and died. That was the craziest thing in the world. Yeah, that was like, there were more problems with leeches, step and a half snakes, the old bamboo viper, malaria. They had tigers. They had, these rats. The rats were the biggest cats. There was more going on in Vietnam with disease and everything else. Can't drink the water. It was crazy, besides being shot at.
That's right. But between missions, we dealt with the rats that lived in the floor of our tent there in LRRPs.
Yeah.
And you're right. It seemed like some of them were as big as cats.
How about the kids? How about the kids used to play with the snakes?
Yeah, I've seen the Mountain Yard kids go over there. Though we had those bamboo vipers, and we were told that they were super poison. They said if one bit you, you couldn't even finish a cigarette before you'd be dead. And but I've seen the Mountain Yard kids go there and take sticks and pull them out. So they were not. The snakes didn't appear to be real aggressive, but we were afraid of them. I will tell you a quick story you haven't heard. That when I was in LRRPs, we were we'd sleep shoulder to shoulder. So all four of us, we had our feet, it was in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden we could hear the leaves rattling down at the base of our feet. And it just sounded like a snake, crawling through. And the last thing that we wanted to do was turn on a light or anything when there was only four of us, and we were trying to be stealth. But it just really got to all of us that we could hear these leaves rattling, just a foot away from our feet. And so one of the guys finally got up, took a match, and he leaned up there, struck a match for just a second, and looked down there, and it turned out it was these huge old army ants, and they were just all in a column, just walking down by our feet. But we thought, sure, we had a big old snake.